So I'm going to be keeping, oh my gosh. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing a book review slash book haul coming off what I got from May and what I'm going to be reading in June. So I've seen a lot of these on YouTube and Book Talk and I love it. I'm not a huge reader, but I'm getting more into it, and within my 75 soft challenge that I'm doing, feel free to follow along on my TikTok. Link is down below to that. You have to read 10 pages minimum of a book every day. So what's better than going to the library and getting free books? Your gal doesn't have any money for books right now. There's a huge Vancouver library just down the street. So I'm gonna take you guys to the library to do a haul, show you the Vancouver library. It's pretty exciting stuff. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Sasha. I am a 29-year-old Aussie living in Vancouver. It's kind of my niche. And yeah, I post a lot of lifestyle videos. So if you'd like to keep up to date with my content, make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell. And without further ado, I'm going to get into my book reviews. So I can't remember the date that I borrowed these out, but I only read 3 books over the course of May. I want to say within 3 weeks I read 3 books, which is pretty good for me. I did just finish the last book a few days ago, which was technically June. So anyway, let's do a book review. My first one I'm going to be talking about is Kelly Rimmer's Undone. Now this book I thought was going to be a lot more saucy. I'm going to use the word saucy on YouTube, but you know what I mean. So I got this hoping that there'd be a lot of sauce involved, but I was really disappointed. I just didn't love the main character. I thought, although she was portrayed as a really strong female lead, which is great, the words describing her a bit too much. I just didn't love her as a friend and as a girlfriend, and I just didn't relate to the character at all. I loved that it was set in New York, but they really didn't describe New York too much. Like, I just feel like the book could have ended, but then it kept going. So for saucy levels, I'd give it out of 5, maybe a 1. Character development, a 1 or a 2, and overall book, it was an easy read, so maybe like a 2 out of 5, but I really didn't like it. Like, it was very average, but I just pushed through because it was an easy read and it was a good starter to all the books that I did get. So I do not recommend. Sorry, Kelly Rimmer. The next book that I read was Sally Hepworth's The Good Sister. Now, this book was such an easy read. It's my first book from Sally Hepworth. I love that she's Australian, and I heard a podcast of her speaking about her life and career, so I was interested in reading one of her books. Very engaging. I loved the characters involved. Again, like the previous book, I thought that it could have finished a lot earlier. I hated the ending, just putting it out there. I hated it. I did love the character development within the characters, but I don't really want to give too much away, but it does have themes of learning disabilities. It's romance. I should have given the theme for the other one. That's just romance, like saucy buddies to girlfriend, boyfriend, that kind of stuff. Like, there's no real trope with that one. This one, I would say, yeah, it focuses on 2 sisters who have very different ideas of the past. It shows how they grew up. It shows one being very type A, successful career woman, and then another who is always been the mum's favorite, the younger sister, the good sister. And it's done, like, each chapter is a different one of the girls' perspectives, which I like. So there's Fern and Rose Castle. So yeah, Fern is a very likable character, and I do love the research that was put into this about depicting a character with autism. So I loved that. But yeah, I didn't like the ending. I'm sure other people would. The romance in it is really cute, but yeah, I won't give too much of it away, but it is a bit of a thriller in parts. Yeah, it's just wholesome. I just didn't, like, I hated the ending, but I would still recommend it to people. Character development, I'd give a 4 out of 5. Overall read, probably 3.5 stars. And yeah, there's no sauciness in this one, but I loved the story. So maybe a 4. The storyline, I don't really know how to rate books, as you can see. I don't do this often, but I do recommend this book. I do recommend this book if you're wanting something a little bit different, a twist on the usual hetero romance, like friends coming into couple. Like, it's very different, and I like the sister dynamic from it. I just thought it was really interesting. So great read, pick that one up. All of these are fiction, by the way. And the last one I read, I would say, okay, so it's Christmas in Paris. Again, I just chose it from the cover. I spoke about this in a previous vlog. Anita Hughes. Wow. She has a lot of books, which I'm impressed, because this was, I think I read it all because I wanted to prove that I could read more books in the month. Sorry about the glare, by the way. I don't really know if you guys can see the cover, but I won't be reading any of her books again. I just did not like her writing style. It focuses on the character of Isabel Lawson. She comes from a very privileged background. It just spoke about like old money and trust funds and a lot of that. She's a financial analyst, and she's had, I just finished reading this, that's why it's in my brain. She has had failed, like only 2 failed relationships, and she's only 28, and it's the end of the world because she can't find a relationship, which I just, like, the storyline was so bad. And then she goes on her honeymoon even though her wedding's cancelled, and stays in the, like, does the whole honeymoon and tells her ex that she left at the altar, and he's completely fine with it. What? Like, it just made no sense. And she like calls her ex and says like, oh, I'm really enjoying Paris, thanks so much. So she's enjoying her honeymoon by herself. She meets another man who, he was left by his partner, and he's also staying in the honeymoon suite. And then it just shows how like they come together, and then she meets someone else. Like, it's just, again, it could have ended at a certain point, but I just didn't like the writing style. It focused way too much on her appearance. Like, we get it, she's beautiful. There was a little bit of sauciness, but again, it was written like maybe someone who'd never written smut and sauciness before, so it was very lackluster. I don't know, I just really didn't like this book. The only element I liked is that it's set in Paris, and I love Paris, and I can relate to that. Nothing else I can relate to with these characters. They were both so annoying. At least in the first one, Undone, the male character was okay, and there was a few other friends involved. Like, this was just 2 characters, and I just didn't like how it was written. I don't know, I give it a 1 on all accounts because I did finish it, but I don't know, it was just so, it just dragged on. I just really didn't like it. So with that in mind, for the rest of the haul that I did get, I'm going to be keeping the book by Lauren Weisberger, When Life Gives You Lululemons, which is a Devil Wears Prada novel, just because I think it'll be easy to read. I do love Devil Wears Prada, and I've never read anything by her, so I'm going to keep that for June. I'm going to keep this book, which is called Please Proceed to the Nearest Exit by Jessica Rhea, just because of the cover, just because it sounds like a really interesting thriller. The way it's written seems interesting as well. So it's based in the 1970s in California, and she accidentally lights a house on fire, and it's a funny, insightful, and deeply moving novel, and illuminates those unforgettable moments in life when everything changes whether we want it to or not. So I just thought it was a very different read from everything I read in May. Like, it's not just based on romance, which is great. It's more coming of age, but I haven't read it yet. So I'm going to be keeping, oh my gosh, I'm going to be keeping these 2 and not taking these back. And I'm taking, Anita Hughes is the first one on top, but I'm going to be taking these books back because I read 10 pages and wasn't gripped by the first 10 pages, which is a shame because there was 2 Canadian authors in that mix, but I just found the books very slow to start, and I didn't even bother starting the Lake Como one because I just, sorry Anita, but I'm not a fan of your writing. So I'm going to be returning these books right now, and we're going to walk to Vancouver Public Library, and I'm going to collect all my holds. These books were recommended by Rachel Catherine's channel, Carter Sullivan's channel, and Jack's channel. I'm gonna pop it on the screen. I'm new to his channel. He has like 1 million subscribers. If you like books, you would have come across his channel. He's British, he's so sweet, and yeah, I wanted to get really good romance novels. He rated them, and I'm just interested. They were all considered favorites of these 3 creators, so I'm excited by them because someone else has reviewed them for me. That I had no reviews on anything else, so I'm going in with that. They're all on hold under my name, and yeah, I'm excited, so I'm gonna take you guys along.
Imagine from a movie scene to made up people in my dreams. The last time, if I recall, was a feeling of being alone. I don't know if where I'm going isn't far, but in case I go, no need to be stressed. Gotta take it home, it's there. I really miss the shade of blue. Just take it slow. I'll wait to find love. Better hear the call again. For now I will feel the ocean view, and I pray that it won't be over soon. Oh, my
I am back from the library. I missed the rain, which was nice. It started to spit, and yeah, thank God I brought the umbrella because I don't want to get the books wet, especially because they're not mine, and treat your books well. Okay, I'm just gonna go through them quickly. Obviously, I haven't read any of them, so I can't give any sort of review, but they were recommended by those creators that I listed. If I remember the links to their videos, I'll link them down below. But okay, I'll have these until the end of June. So I'm excited. And also I can just keep renewing them unless they're on hold for someone else. The first one is Nicole Perkins' Sometimes I Trip on How Happy We Could Be. Next one is from Casey McQuiston, and it is One Last Stop. All of these are fiction, by the way. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Shipped by Angie Hockman. The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. I'm gonna get that pronunciation wrong, I'm sure, but I've heard great things about this author, so I got 2 of her books. And The Heart Principle, also by Helen. Malibu Rising, I feel like everyone's read this book. I haven't read Daisy Jones and the Six. That one is very hard to get in the library system right now in Vancouver, but it is, I do have it on hold, but it just wasn't available. So yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one is a Canadian author. It's called Woman on the Edge. It's a thriller by Samantha M. Bailey, which is exciting. And I know that Carter recommended that one. And A Million Junes by Emily Henry, which looks like a romance. And I'm 99.9% sure that Rachel Catherine recommended this one. 11 books, including my other 2. It's gonna be a really wet, wintry sort of January here in Vancouver. So I'm excited to curl up with a book after I've been staring at the screen all day with my new job. So I really want to get more into my reading. I used to be a great reader and just smash out books, and I think it's just something that I got into, you know, technology and my phone at the end of high school, and then onwards I just was so busy doing other things that it's just such a habit to be on my phone that I just don't really think about reading apart from just before bed because it helps me sleep. So I want to make it a bit more of a hobby, I guess, and get back into it because I know how much I loved English and literature at school, and I did journalism, and I love being absorbed by text and stories, like as well being an actor. So yeah, I'm excited about my haul. Please let me know down below if you have read any of these novels before. Don't give any spoilers, no spoilers here. If you are watching this and you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought. Let me know of any other books in this genre. I guess this is like young teen romance, wholesome summary, reads. If there's anything like that you've read, pop it down if it's 4 stars or above, because I don't want anything less at this point, because May was disappointing with my reads. I think that's everything for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up. It really supports my channel. I hope you guys liked this video, a little bit different from me, and I will speak to you guys in my next video. Bye.